This episode of Casual Nerds will be a part 2 on our discussions about virtual worlds, as not all virtual worlds are rainbows and butterflies. Some of them have a dark side, and private servers are one of them. So yes, this will be a serious discussion. So I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
This is the Casual Nerds Podcast with Eri and Matt.
Hello, welcome to Casual Nerds, a podcast for casual fans. My name is Eri, and with me is
MegaDjMatt.
And joining us in this episode is our audio producer, Marbluu. So Marbluu, say hi.
Hi, thanks for having me again, Eri and Matt. Really great to be here.
So this episode of Casual Nerds will cover a serious topic, as apparently it's been reported that Club Penguin Online, one of the big Club Penguin private servers, will be shutting down not only because Disney filed DMCA reports telling them to stop, but the owner had multiple allegations faced against him, and now he was sent to jail, then he was released on bail, and now we all don't know what's going on. We all don't know if all private servers will close, but it's more likely it's gonna happen. We don't know that he will be more dangerous now online. So we're gonna have an open discussion about online safety and the idea on the dark side of virtual worlds, because while Club Penguin Online and the whole Club Penguin private server community is one case study, we all know that this happened in almost any other video game. It happened in Minecraft. It happened with Twitch streamers when they stream Call of Duty or Fortnite or anything. So this is not an isolated issue in the Club Penguin community. However, the scale that it went in the community is somewhat isolated to this community compared to other video games. What do you guys think about this?
Well, sheesh. I'm sorry, everyone. This was like a last minute thing, so I wasn't fully prepared for it.
Yeah, this was really last minute. I apologize to everyone involved because we had another topic in mind. But the thing was that this was reported yesterday, and we're recording on the 16th of May. So this news is still new and it's still ongoing. And since we did a video / episode on virtual worlds around 2 weeks ago, I thought, why not cover the dark sides of virtual worlds, because there are dark sides to it, especially when you're giving your information to someone who is just a random person with not much experience or resources to create really encrypted safety measures compared to Disney or World of Warcraft or whatever.
True. Well, for one, yeah, there's a lot of dark sides to virtual worlds. I don't know much about that, though, because whenever I'm in them, I just kind of stay out of drama, and if I see it, I just walk away. Or my character walks away, anyway. So, I'm sorry, I don't have much experience with these things, unlike you, maybe?
Yeah, I get you. I understand that you may not have any knowledge of this, and I'm probably gonna be the only one who does. And I say this because it was terrifying when you're facing that person in a Discord server where you just thought, it's gonna be safe, it's small, it's secluded, I'm gonna have a fun time, when in reality, oh no, things are about to happen. Is my information safe? Do I have to change all my passwords again? All that. You start questioning what's gonna happen to you once this guy enters the server. It's scary, but at the same time, you can't have this person scare you.
For me, this whole sort of the dark sides of virtual worlds, not only does this apply to games and stuff, to me, this sort of applies to the whole internet. What I mean is, people who have actual tools and programs that can leak literally everything about you, your personal information and stuff. This could be something as harmless as delivering a ridiculous amount of pizzas to some streamer just to get a reaction, or something extreme as is literally swatting that person's house. It's a very scary thing to talk about, but I think it's one that should be addressed because it just needs to be said.
Yeah, I also think this conversation is important, especially now as I know we're all in lockdown, we're all self isolating, and I know some countries are lifting up those restrictions. An example is Australia, and I'm not sure with your country if your lockdown restrictions are being lifted, but we're still technically stuck at home for a while, and we are gonna be relying on virtual worlds to communicate with people and the online space. So we need to be aware on online safety and how it's much more dangerous now, especially now since we're all stuck indoors and we're relying on the internet so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about child predators, at like the basic understanding of child predators and how they existed for a really long time. Like I remember back when I was in like year 7, year 8, back in high school, my basic understanding on online child predators is that they would just befriend you on Facebook or online dating. They'll try to be your friend, but in reality, it's just some adult who wants to take advantage of you. And if you say no, he will kill you. That is literally my basic understanding on online child predators. That was my introduction to it when I was in high school. But the more I grow up and the more I get involved with video games and the online communities, I just slowly learned that it's more than just the creepy guys on the internet. It's now becoming like guys who will like try to befriend you on video games, virtual worlds, try to be nice and friendly, and then eventually you just realize that you're talking to a 40-year-old person who wants to kill you or take advantage. So it's no longer dating sites or Facebook friends anymore. I think it spread to pretty much almost any online platform. What do you guys think about this?
Matt, do you want to go first?
Do you want to go first?
Well, I'm trying to actually think of a response at the minute. Hold on.
I am too. This is not something I usually
It's not an
talk
easy
about.
subject to talk about.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
But it has to be
Yeah,
said.
this is a really, really,
Yeah.
really difficult topic to talk about. And we all have different perspectives because we all grew up in different generations. We all grew up in different years. Like, Matt, you're like older than me, and we all know you're not a predator. We all know you're a very genuine, nice person. We were supposed to meet up when I visited America that one time, but we were unable to do so. So,
Because of budget reasons.
yeah, so online predators must be something shocking for you to hear when you're probably at college or something. And Marbluu, you're like, were you born in the 2000s?
Yeah, 2000s, yeah.
So the online predators thing is somewhat common by that point when you were growing up. For me, I was just in the middle of it when it was like, okay, guys, online predators exist, and this is what you need to know. They're just some guy who wants to befriend you on Facebook or online dating sites or whatever, and they will try to take advantage of you. When in reality, it's more than that now. It evolved. And since we all grew up with different generations, different eras and everything, we all had different experience when we first heard about this.
I guess you can kind of say I ran into online predators before, but it was only like twice in my life that I can remember.
Really?
The first time, like, I was actually 13, 14 years old, and I was messing around in different chat rooms. I'm going to go way back here. Back in Yahoo chat rooms.
Ooh,
Oh my God.
If
that's a
anyone
throwback.
remember those.
I
Damn.
know that one.
Huh?
I used Yahoo Messenger a lot to communicate with my dad because he worked overseas, and pretty much any of my family members because we all live in different parts of we live all over the place. So yeah, I remember using that.
I've heard of Yahoo, like the search engine, but I've never really used the chat rooms.
Oh my God.
They're no longer a thing, unfortunately.
Well before my time, probably, yeah.
Is this the one where you get to make
Anyway.
your avatars though? I'm just curious, which Yahoo Messenger are we talking about? Is this the one where you get to make your avatars?
I think so? I don't remember doing that.
Huh. Interesting. So you were saying?
All I remember... Oh, go ahead.
No, you were saying.
I was saying that I remember messing around in those for a while, and I remember one day I was just going through different chat rooms. One of my favorite rooms was the fight room, because people would just fight about really stupid things, and it was hilarious to listen to, because this was like before video chatting. This was back when voice chat was still a brand new thing. Sheesh. I still remember my mic too. It sucks so badly. But anyway, I remember like I was just messing around, and like this one person asked me like, hey, what's your name? What's your age? Blah blah blah. So I don't think I gave a real name. I gave like a fake name because sometimes people will act like they're different types of people on the internet, as we all know this. I pretended I was like a girl because why not? And then this guy asked me like, hey, what are you wearing? And this was like way before, people knew what to say around stuff like that back then. Because back then I didn't know what to say. I just thought, okay, that's a weird question, but whatever. So I'm like, just wearing a skirt, wearing a shirt. And then he asked me my age. I gave him my real age, which was, like I said, 13, 14 years old at the time. And so then I asked him, like, well, what's your age? He said, I think, don't quote me, it's been a while, long while, but I think he said he was in his 40s,
Oh
maybe?
my god!
It was like somewhere around the 40s, something like that. And then he pretended to, I don't know how explicit I can get with the details. This is the part I actually do remember the most.
In quick summary, using family-friendly terms, what happened? If you feel comfortable sharing it.
Well, let's just say he tried to reach up the skirt and do different things, and I was like, dude, back off. And he would not back off. So at first I thought he was just messing around, but then he kept going further and further. So back then I didn't know what to do. I didn't even say anything to anyone, except maybe like one online friend I had at the time, which I still remember her name for some reason. But anyway, I'm not going to reveal it because it's her real name. So I blocked the guy, and I never heard from him again, thankfully. And the second time, it wasn't towards me. This was back when I was in college, right? This one I remember more clearly. Long story short, I just posted some pictures from an anime con I went to, and this one guy who I used to know started commenting on my pictures that I had, and I was hanging out with one of my friends' daughters, and she was around maybe 13 at the time, and she joined us for a skit that we were doing for the anime con, and we took a group photo together, all of us that were in the skit. So he started messaging. He's like, hey, yo, oh, I forgot to say, she didn't have a cosplay on, but she had like cat ears and a cat tail. So this guy, he started messaging. He's like, hey, I'll take the one that's on the floor, because she was on the floor like a cat, because she had like, the cat stuff on. And I'm like, dude, I know the picture is blurry, but this girl is only like 13, and I know you're above that age. He was over the age of 18. I'll say that much. And he's like, so that doesn't matter. I'll take her anyway. I'm like, excuse me, I just said she's under the age of 18. Back off. And he wouldn't back off. He started saying very explicit things. He even tried saying, well, why are you so against this? This is part of my religion. Yeah, he literally pulled the religious card. I don't know what religion is okay with that, and if there is any, it needs to be, stopped ASAP. So yeah, that happened. We notified the mom. She took care of it. Her husband took care of it. The thing is, they were living in a. Well, I'm not going to say where they were living. It wasn't in my city, but I knew where the guy lived, and he got contacted. The guy got banned from like pretty much every anime con at the time. I don't know if he still is, which I hope he is. Um, so yeah, that was pretty freaky for that time, and still is. Yeah, that's my story of running into people like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
So not only you experienced online predators back in the 90s, but you knew
Early
some
2000s, actually.
or early 2000s, but you knew someone. Oh my god. This is
Yeah.
oh my goodness. So yeah, this is not just an isolated thing in virtual worlds like in video games only. It happens in chat rooms and apparently social media sites where they get to see your photos. And oh my god, he wants to do bad things to a 13-year-old. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm also shocked when I heard the whole religion thing. It's oh my god, that's so bad. What kind of religion is this?
I don't know. He did not say, and if he did, I don't remember what religion he said.
What about you, Marbluu?
Well, I mean, I guess there's one story I could tell. It's very vague because it was such a long time ago. Um, for a bit of context, when I started out like using the internet and stuff, I knew about the dangers of like certain people and certain games and whatever, and I used a lot of like fake aliases to go around, and to this day I still use some fake names, which is really really helpful. So you're not actually putting out any personal information out there. But there was this one time where I think I was maybe 12, 11, 12. I had an Xbox 360, and I used to play a lot of Black Ops 2 back in the day, and I used to play the crap out of it. And there was this one guy on like an online match where I think he was on my team, and he just kept shouting down the mic. I don't know how explicit. Okay, please send Bobs immediately. He didn't sound. He sounded foreign. He sounded more like Russian, that kind of thing. But what he did is what I found out about this much like years later. He sent to everyone on his recent players the exact same text, like on messaging on Xbox, and it was, "Hi, I'm filling out this form so I can do well in my class. Please fill in your details and stuff, like such as name, age, gender, and interests you like." I never really fell for those kind of things. I never did any of that. The fact that they were going around to such mainstream services is kind of freaky.
So I guess we all have our fair share experience of being first introduced to this type of situation. For Matt, it's much more scarier because oh my god. For Marbluu, I'm so glad that you didn't fall for it. For me, all I got was an introduction in high school about it, but I did see a few, but I barely remember it now because it didn't bother me as much. It didn't bother me, it's just stories from other people. But the fact that I raised the infamous child predator in the Club Penguin community in 2 Discord servers was scary. Like, I heard the stories and I'm like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna hack me? Am I in trouble? Am I safe? And it's stuff like this where I start to reconsider if this community is even safe. I know there are good people, But the fact that there are people who has the power to hack, DDoS, SWAT you, and apparently there was a recent report where they tried to hire the hitman. I'm like, is this community safe? Or am I gonna be in danger just because I pissed off one person?
They hired a hitman? What is
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, when the...
That's insane.
That's crazy.
the story behind that is that the guy, one of the former CPO and staff, you know, the guy who made the YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, in a Discord server that he's in, I think it's another Club Penguin private server that he was working on. It's a small one, I think. He announced that he's stepping down, not because of Riley, but because someone tried to hire a hitman and tried to kill him. So he's leaving for his own safety. So yes, it's scary.
And this is all over a
Oof.
kids game.
Yes, and if I could show the tweet, I would show it around here. But yeah, this is real. Like, the Club Penguin community has the ability to hire hitmen and DDoS the crap out of you. But I know there are good people. It's just that there are like certain people who would go so far to make your life a living hell.
True.
Agreed.
So what is your like national or local government doing to help prevent online predators and deal with online safety? In Australia, we have the Carly Ryan Foundation, and the story behind that is that there was this girl who befriended the guy on Facebook, and she thought that he was the dream guy. Apparently, he was like a musician or something, but in actuality, it was just some predator. And when she rejected his advances, he ended up killing her in the beach. Let me double check this story because I have the site here right now. Let's see. So, yep, it is. I am correct. In February 2007, the online predator convinced Carly to meet him. He took her to a secluded beach in South Australia, and he pushed her face into the sand and killing her. He killed someone because she rejected his advances. So what actually happened after that is that the government did something about it. I think they made a law in called Carly's Law or something. I have to double check this again. But they actually made a law due to this incident that will help prevent online predators killing innocent people and all that.
So, I've just did a little bit of research on the UK sentencing for child predatory crimes and child grooming, and it doesn't matter if it's online or in the real world. Defendants found guilty of the charge of attempting to meet a child following grooming, which nearly takes place online or over a mobile phone, will face a maximum prison sentence of 10 years. And to me, I feel like that sentence is quite low. I feel like they should raise the number of years for that sentence.
So you think 10 years isn't high enough in the UK?
No, I feel like it should be more. This is a serious issue, and that child or subject will have to live the rest of their life knowing that this happened to them. It's going to scar them for the rest of their life.
I remember there was a BBC documentary in their series called One Click Away where it talked about this kid who was child groomed. I couldn't find the documentary, and sadly I don't have VPN, so I won't be able to watch it, and I don't think it's available anymore. But they did a full documentary about this one kid who was groomed to the point where he's like, I want to quit school because this guy promised me a life with money and whatever. And this was a dude. This was a young kid who's a guy who was affected, and I don't know what happened. Apparently he died, I think. But yeah, they told the story about it in their series.
The fact that it's like, for me, I feel like this should be raised higher. I don't think 10 years is enough.
As you mentioned, you said it was 10 years in the UK. I was reading up Carly's Law. So the story about this is that after the incident in South Australia, the Australian government decided to turn it into a law. And Same in the UK, it's also 10 years. 10 years if they commit online predator acts, killing someone, all that. So, yes. Do you think it's too low? For me, I think it's like, it's not too low, but it's not, but I don't feel like it's high enough. It's somewhere within the middle ground, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say like a minimum of 15 years. I think would be enough. I think.
15 years sounds about right.
What about you, Matt? What is the US laws when it comes to this?
I'm looking it up right now, and then basically you have to just register as a sex offender. Let's see. Registered sex offenders are required to update their information annually with local law enforcement within 5 working days or before or after their birthday. Sheesh, I'm not good with legal stuff.
Don't worry, we're all not.
But basically, you have to register as a sex offender if you get caught doing these types of things. I'm not seeing much about how long you stay in prison, but that's basically what I'm finding.
Not anything else I can add on to it, other than the fact that the
Same.
UK, you don't. I think it's just like an immediate sentence. You don't have. There's no sort of like sex offender register. You have a criminal record, and it's just generalized as that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it works here in the UK.
So you guys watch Filthy Frank, right?
What?
Do you guys watch Filthy Frank?
I used to.
Yeah, I know Joji.
Joji, yeah.
Okay. Did you guys watch his Pokemon Go episode?
No, I don't think I did. No.
No.
Okay, so he talked about Pokemon Go, and one of the things he mentioned, and I think it's somewhat relevant to what we're talking about, was when he talked about the Pokestop system. So for those who don't play Pokemon Go, when it comes to Pokestops or the gyms and whatever, you can put lures so that more Pokemon like spawns in that area. Which is okay, that's great. You get more Pokemon in that area. You get to catch more Pokemon. That's great. But one of the things that Filthy Frank said might surprise you on how online predators can use the system to target little kids. Let me just get the video out, so hold on.
Hey, come to Rashid Jamal Allah Mohammed's outlet store. There's a Rayquaza in here. Come in, kids. Just come in. I know it's a shack, but hey, there might be a Jukain. Yeah, there's gonna be an Agumon in here. You know, there's gonna be a blue eyes white dragon. And what if it's some old pedophile who puts a lure in a park and he attracts kids and he's just sitting there waiting to diddle some Pokeballs? Because everyone can see that someone has put a lure, meaning it attracts a bunch of Pokemons. All these kids are gonna go. All you need is an old creepy man with a saggy ball sack and an iPhone, and you're set. You're fucking set. The kids come, and then the pedophile comes. This is the new way of how pedophiles are gonna attract kids. You never know who you're battling. The only battle could be the old pedophile's urge to give in to give in to his urges. Of course he's gonna lose. Kids love Pokemon. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a little ass catching, because you gotta catch all of them little asses. Little boy pussies. You're gonna pop those little Pokeballs out of them little boy pussies? You're disgusting. Hey kid, come in this white van. Look in my pants. There's a Diglett. Kakuna used hearted. Do you want that happening to your kids? I don't think you do.
So yeah, thoughts on that clip of Filthy Frank talking about how Pokemon Go, it's an ARG, so an augmented reality game. So it's both real life and a virtual world in a sense. And the fact that online predators can taking advantage of kids by using that type of system that is in place in the game just to lure kids to catch Pokemon when in reality might end up getting attacked.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that how this concept of the lure modules would be, it was thought out with good intent. However, there has been exploits, and it seems like it can be exploited by these predators, which can lure children into a trap. And the fact that this could happen tells me that these predators will go to extra lengths just to take advantage. And it's really crazy.
They'll pretty much go to any length they can to get what, or I guess who they want. Especially with Pokemon Go, or just any game that they can probably manipulate to catch the person they're after. Which in this case it would be kids. And I don't know. It's just stuff like that kind of makes me not want to, play the game, because I don't want to run into stuff like that. I mean, obviously I'm over the age, but you know what? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see things like that.
Yeah, it's you don't want it. Yeah, it's like really, you kind of feel creeped out by it.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Is that feature still in? Have they removed it?
No, it's still there in the game. It's still there. I played it.
It's still
However, it's
there,
harder
right.
now to get lures now. It's now much harder. Like, compared to before, because I saved up on lures because I don't really go out much. But apparently the only way to get lures now is to either buy them or you have to level up. Unlike before, you can get them in any gym or Pokestop when you spin it around. So I think they changed the system. But I'm
Right,
not
so then
sure.
there probably was a reason why they did that then.
Probably.
That case probably did happen. And I've just been doing a little research and nothing has come up about those kind of advantages.
Thank goodness. But still, we have to be
Right.
aware that it's a possibility.
Oh, definitely.
And I can't believe we're using Filthy Frank as a source.
I know, right? It'd be the last thing you'd find as a source for something that's really taboo.
Yeah, but he had a point. He had a serious point.
That is true. But not a lot of people see Filthy Frank as the serious person.
Well, that's because most of his videos were jokes.
Yeah, he played a character, and I can't believe Twitter tried to cancel him.
Yeah. Right, but can I just say this? Those K-pop stans were probably real confused that Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana were the same person. I'll just say that.
So, Club Penguin Online, this whole fiasco. So, as mentioned earlier, basically they were one of the biggest online private servers now, especially due to the outbreak. They reach around 7 million, 8 million registered users. News outlets, not official news outlets, just like the lower class BuzzFeed websites who did zero research whatsoever, reported on this, saying, "Oh yeah, Club Penguin is back," not realizing that the one who runs it is an online predator who people been warning the community against people going to this website for like years. And a YouTuber time ago talked about it. Well, sort of. He talked about how he got hacked and everything. But basically, ever since this lockdown, Club Penguin Online got so popular to the point where people needed to yell a bit louder about Riley's allegations. And apparently something did happen. We all know that Disney now filed a DMCA because it's basically what they're doing is tarnishing the image of Club Penguin as well as using their IP illegally. And we all know that the owner went to jail, but we all don't know. But we all don't know what's gonna happen next because he was released on bail. So now it's now a dark day within all private servers, at least in the Club Penguin community, as they all have to shut down at some point or face legal action. And we all don't know what's going to happen to the victims or anything because the guy went to jail. And now he's gonna, like, we don't know if he's gonna be more dangerous or we don't know if he learned his lesson. So it's kind of like a dark day now. And safety is now the really big topic to talk about. It's like the hot topic because we all don't know what's gonna happen next.
Right.
Definitely. You pretty much said what I was gonna say about the fact that these major publications did mislead a lot of people and said that the official Club Penguin was returning but instead it was a private server, which ultimately led a lot of traffic onto that site, making it the most biggest popular private server out there. But the fact that now that an even bigger publication such as BBC has now actually covered this article, I think a lot of these smaller ones will definitely backtrack and say, "Oh, we had no information about this whatsoever." But as far as the arrests go, I have a tweet from the actual reporter who wrote the BBC article. He says that London Metropolitan Police confirmed that one man involved in the website Club Penguin Online has been arrested on suspicion of possession of indecent images. The man from London is on bail pending further inquiries, which basically means that there will most likely be a trial in this. But that's if they can get enough evidence.
But there
to
is
convict
enough
him.
evidence. The entire freaking community spoke out about this since 2017. Use that. A guy made like a, 6-part YouTube series talking about it. He had people come out in his videos. There's so much evidence about this.
And this was all legitimate.
This is all legitimate evidence.
So I think most likely there will definitely be a trial in some form or another.
Oh yeah, you're using a popular kids game to lure in kids and get things you shouldn't be.
You know how he ends up getting their nudes? He would bring out mod applications like, hey, you want to be a moderator for this game? You want to be a mod just like Polo Field or Meg or one of those people you look up to in the OGCP? Well, now you can. All you have to do is send me your nudes and bam, bam, you're now a mod or an admin.
All these mods who applied to be a mod on this thing were aged significantly lower than Riley or Anthony.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah, one of them was 13.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
That's disgusting.
Gross.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Very.
You know what's sad about this? The fact that online publications didn't do research and everything, so it led to people believing that Club Penguin is back, which was a huge problem because I remember getting a text message from my mom saying, "Hey, you want to play Club Penguin again? I know you played Club Penguin back in the good old days. Join Club Penguin Online." She gave me a text linking me to Club Penguin Online, like a news article or something. I'm like, "Mom, you do know that that site is not safe, right? You do know they take my personal information, right?" And she didn't reply to that, but I just said, "No, I'm not joining that. It's not safe. And you should know this because you're my mom." But I don't think my mom knows because the news story didn't say anything about the allegations and the risk and everything. They just said, "Oh yeah, Club Penguin is back and blah 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 blah, and it's safe and rainbows and butterflies." But when you've been exposed to the community way too much, you know it's not.
I did actually find a publication that did originally say this. This is the Evening Standard. This is one of the biggest publications in London, in the UK. And the main title reads, "Club Penguin is back and already has 6 million users worldwide." And from what I can see through the article, no research has been taken whatsoever about the allegations whatsoever. And as of yet, as I'm recording this, they have not made a response to this. So I suppose what will happen is maybe tomorrow they will actually come out with this. But however, from what I'm seeing, nothing has been came out.
Let's be real. Let's be real for a second. Let's remove the biases that we have on online servers, and let's just say this: private servers aren't safe whatsoever. Like, we're giving our information to random people online, and the only reason why I was like somewhat willing to give my information to Club Penguin Rewritten, at least like my email or something, like, and passwords and whatnot, is because a lot of the original community members that I didn't know there were community members in Club Penguin, but they are prominent Club Penguin community members. And one of them was Penguin of the Month back in the good old days, because they all play the game. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot, bloody doody do, see what happens. And I think Club Penguin YouTuber covered the game as well. I don't know if it was Thick Noodles or it was someone else. I don't know. But basically, a lot of community members play it. A lot of them say it's safe. And I took their word for it. And I still play it. I still trust the mods. But if I didn't know these people, and let's say there was no community, and it's just a bunch of people saying, "Oh yeah, let's play this game. It's not a fan-made thing," I would just not play it if I didn't know that these guys were prominent community members. If I think they're just random people online with no significance whatsoever, because why would I give my information out to some random stranger? I mean, we're kind of doing that, but at least it's a company that we trust and rely on, like Disney. But
Right.
Yeah.
teenagers, no.
Yeah, they're definitely not qualified enough to keep information like that, especially with something that has 7 million registered users. That's literally 7 million emails, 7 million passwords. You know,
And you know how he hacks those?
it's just crazy.
And you know how he hacks all those accounts? He finds their registered email, and then he just goes to I don't know, some other random website which pretty much has all leaked information, and then they try to hack the crap out of it, and that's how he gets ya.
I heard he has like different tools and stuff to help hack these things.
Oh, definitely. You definitely wouldn't be able to find it on the internet alone. You need like some sort of equipment just to do that.
Right.
Yeah. But the whole Club Penguin Online, the online allegations and all this, and online safety, it's not a private server isolated situation. It happens in other games as well. Like, people accidentally leak their address. Like, I accidentally leaked my name, for Pete's sakes, one time on Discord. So
Oh yeah, and then everyone would not stop talking about it. I remember that.
yeah. So we tend to accidentally leak private information. It will happen. We accidentally leak things because we lower our guards and everything, and we think we're safe, but in reality we're not. We're not safe. It's dangerous out there. It's a Wild West. But this happens in other games. I remember in my Discord server, one of the guys there talked about how it happened in Minecraft. Like, there were bomb threats made because of a few that happened there, and I remember hearing that story about that. And you guys mentioned something about this happening in other games as well, especially with Twitch streamers.
I mean, yeah, it is sort of devastating and scary to hear that like someone else has all your information. But on the other side of things, yes, people do end up finding information about you, digging up information about you, and they will use it to their advantage. Like I said before, sometimes it's used just for harmless pranks, like delivering pizzas to. I remember I was watching a live stream very recently. There was this I'm not naming him, but he was reading something off his phone, and then he came back like 5 minutes later and was completely annoyed that someone had delivered 26 pizzas to his house. This happened like 3 times on the stream, and more he just kept getting more annoyed. But the point is, they did that just for the reaction. It can get even more serious as to swatting. Now, there are, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that there has been multiple compilations on YouTube showing this sort of type of thing. And to actually even to watch it is sort of scary. You know,
Yeah.
that's when sort of tensions get serious. I don't know if it was, but for those kind of things, it just depends on the context. But I want to go back and talk about accidentally leaking information. We all remember there was this one particular person on, I think it was on Eri's old server. I'll not mention their name, but they.
No, it wasn't my. It's not my old server.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's
it
right.
was someone else's server that's now gone.
But you found out about it, and pretty much they had uploaded documentation of certain amount of certain people onto a Google site, and it had their full names, their locations, their birthdays, and info about them. And that person now, well, they
Yeah.
were actually inactive well before this leak happened. But I did a little bit of research as well, going back through Discord chats and stuff, and there was one person doesn't want to think that he did it because said person was really nice to him.
You know what's sad about
Right.
this as well? What's sad about this? I remember hearing conversations about this. Like I was like stalking old chats and everything. This was like a discussion that's now gone. But basically, I remember this conversation when the whole thing leaked. I was looking back, so I wasn't there during the discussion because I was elsewhere. But basically, there were people saying, "You guys should be lucky you got your information leaked. You guys are famous. You are."
Is it who I
you
think
should-"
it is?
What?
Is it who I think it is?
Take a guess.
Yeah, okay.
But basically, he was like saying, "You guys are lucky. You should be privileged that this guy did this." And we're all like, "No, we are not privileged. This is bad." And one of the things that I read the documentation, and they wrote out a bunch of lies about me. And one of the most surprising things I read was that I used to be in a relationship with one of them. And I'm like, what? No, that was not true at all. Dear God. The fact that people think that it's a privilege for them to write made up stuff about us and to leak our information, no, bad, not good. To the point where I'm like, will employers find this? Will they judge me because of all these lies? But then I went on incognito tab, write my name down, and I realized I won't have much of a problem because the first thing they'll see is like all my professional work and articles that I've been involved with. So, yeah, there won't be much of an issue, but still, you do get worried and afraid about it.
Yeah, you do. But in saying that, employers, they do tend to look up your name on social media. But I don't think they would go as far as digging real deep into the internet just to find out exactly every single detail about you. I think that's just a little too extreme.
I've heard of some actually trying to do that, though. I don't know the exact company names, but I've heard of, like, you know, when employers are trying to look you up on social media to see if you're qualified to work there or whatever. I heard they will dig pretty deep. At least certain ones will. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I have heard of it.
I don't know about you guys, but at least with me, when it comes to applying for journalism work, and especially in the world of journalism and social media, journalists has to literally follow each other. They have to literally follow each other. I don't know why, but they just do. And when I'm applying for work, I try to follow my future boss. And one of the people I followed ended up following me back, which is a huge honor. But at the same time, I also know that I cannot curse on Twitter anymore. And I don't curse, and I made sure that I deleted all my past tweets where I cursed in the past. I'm pretty sure I never posted really degrading photos. A lot of my pictures are just video game screenshots, and I tweet about news articles sometimes, so that's good. But you do have to be wary that if you're gonna apply for jobs, especially like media based, you're more likely gonna end up having your boss following you, or you have to follow your boss and your fellow coworkers because that's the culture in that industry. Like, I have the head of news and current affairs for one radio station following me. I have one of the radio presenters in the radio station that I work on who also works in SBS follows me. There is a radio presenter who is a radio presenter in Melbourne for a community radio who follows me. So yeah, it's pretty much a follow to follow basis culture in the Australian social media system, I guess, at least in the journalism field. I don't know about elsewhere. But yeah. So it's not just people literally looking through your Facebook. There will be cases where you have to follow your boss. So yeah, online safety and online identity. Gotta love that.
I don't know what else I could add on to that, but I think that definitely makes a lot of sense with journalists following each other, including their bosses. And I notice one thing is, particularly in the UK, a lot of UK journalists always have to put a disclaimer in their bio saying all views are my own and not of those of such and such.
Oh yeah, I
And
had to do that as well.
oh yeah, did you? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because when I was doing contribution work for SBS, they made me do like employees orientation thing during when my contract got renewed. They made me do this whole employees introduction orientation quiz thing, stuff like that. And one of the things they said is that no matter what you are, even if you're a full-time staff or a contract journalist or whatever, you're under SBS, so you better put there all views are my own, because you don't want to let people know that what you're saying is part of the broadcaster. So I had to put that down, which is like, okay, I can't believe I made it that far, but here I am. But yeah, it doesn't. You kind of have to put that down. All views are my own, especially if you will post your private thoughts or video game antics or whatever.
It's
Right.
funny because I just realized in the credits of this particular podcast, we do have a disclaimer like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Kind of funny how we're sort of complaining about it, but yet here the irony is we actually already have one.
We kind of have to. I know it's
Yeah.
somewhat
No,
inconvenience, but there's a reason.
Yeah, I get it, and I feel it's good, but
Very.
it's it's self-explanatory. It's the person's
Not
Twitter
very
account.
surprisingly.
Like,
Not lately,
I think the
anyway.
person looking at I think they would have the common sense to know that it's their views personally and not of those of the corporation.
But let's be real. People are dumb.
Surprisingly.
So moving on. Basically, we all know that Disney's taking action, and it could affect the whole private server community in general, at least in Club Penguin. I don't know about anywhere else. But I'm pretty sure Minecraft had a similar situation where they were like blacklisting Minecraft servers because of various reasons. I know that reason is pay to win features. So yeah, there's that. But basically, right, the fact that companies are taking action now after years of it being a thing. What are your thoughts about that? Like, Disney's taking action now, well, when this was a thing since 2017.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're only taking action now really shows to me that they really didn't care for this brand whatsoever. It managed to go well under their radar up until there was a lot of voices, a lot of activity was heard by them. And I did hear that Club Penguin Online did get a DMCA takedown request. And I can say, even in Club Penguin Rewritten, that Disney also did a DMCA request on Club Penguin Rewritten. Now, from what I can see on their Discord, and I quote from one of the admins, Club Penguin Rewritten has no current plans to close, but will be monitoring the situation for any further developments. Now, I don't know exactly if Disney are just focused on this particular one, Club Penguin Online, or they want to completely, sweep everything under the carpet and act like as if Club Penguin never existed whatsoever. I'm looking back at the BBC article. Okay, right, so, and I quote, this is taken from the BBC article, Disney's response to this: child safety is a top priority for the Walt Disney Company, and we are appalled by the allegations of criminal activity and abhorrent behaviour on this authorised website that is legally using the Club Penguin brand and characters for its own purposes. Now, it's good that Disney are actually finally taking action about this, but I feel like this could have happened sooner. I feel like this thing should have happened a lot more sooner than it has.
Well, I think one of the reasons why they haven't really focused on this very much, and this could just be me, is because I noticed Disney usually pays the most attention to their IPs and stuff that make them the most money. and if they're not making a lot of money or if there's not much traffic towards them, they'll pay attention to them a lot less. So that could be a reason why it took them a while for them to get to this. At least that's my thought.
But here's the thing, though. Disney filed some kind of DMCA shutdown back in the past to Club Penguin online, but the reason for that is that please don't use our URL, please use something else. So the voices of, hey, so this is going on, this like shady stuff, none of that is being heard. Like, it wasn't as loud as it is now, but it was just not as loud as, if you know what I mean. But they did know that there are people who are gonna use Club Penguin, and they asked all of them, can you please give us that URL, or else you're gonna face legal action. And I can't believe it's just now when they realize, okay, we have to shut it down. But yeah, online safety, and it's just, yeah, I think this should have been dealt earlier. Like, they knew these sites exist, but at the same time, I don't think they knew about the shady stuff that's happening.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Not a lot of... Now, and I will sound like I am contradicting myself to previous stuff I've said, but not a lot of people did actually know about the allegations and whatnot to the whole private server controversy.
So how can we all be safe online since stuff like this is happening? I mean, we all know it's been a thing for a long time. Like, online predators are a thing since like the early 2000s and the 90s, basically when the internet existed. And it's only now when the spotlight is thrown onto the topic again due to private servers, especially now due to lockdowns. So how can we be safe? And are private servers now safe? Are they safe, or are they dangerous? Should we stay away from them? What are your thoughts about this?
Well, for the private servers, I would say they are not as safe as an official license game by a big corporation such as Disney. I would say if you do want to go to a private server, visit it at your own risk of potentially being taken advantage of, both with, child predators and your personal information. But one thing you can do to be safe is definitely, if you have a personal email, disregard it and make make as many alternate emails as you can. If you can't do that, definitely get one of those there's a thing called a 10-minute mail, and it's a temporary email address that expires, as I just said, in 10 minutes. And if this sort of thing doesn't have like a verification thing, then you're good. But another thing, if you really want to be safe, definitely, if there's some sort of like information that isn't personal, like for example, if you're applying to college, if you're applying for a job, or even if it's just like for an account for, let's take on-demand services for an example. I feel like it's definitely right to take a fake alias name. I feel like if you put down your personal information, there could be a scenario where 4 million accounts are breached, and bam, they've got you. So I think it is definitely wise to use fake aliases if you're using services, for example, like catch-up websites, on-demand stuff, but nothing with like personal information like credit card details, but only just for free stuff. Definitely disguise as much personal information as you can, and it will definitely save you. Also I forgot to mention, please enable two-factor authentication. It will definitely save you a lot of troubles. For one, actually, I'll tell you, this is a story that happened to me very recently. My personal Twitter got hacked very recently. I didn't make any tweets since like 2014, but I don't know what happened. I didn't use two-factor authentication on that, and there was a new login. Like Twitter notified me that there was a login, and it posted like I think it was like a sale off something. But what it did is mentioned every one of my followers, and they were messaging me everywhere saying, check your Twitter, you've just been hacked. So I quickly gained access back into that account, and then I didn't feel safe with it, so I deactivated it and created a completely new account. But this time I put on two-factor authentication, and actually now I think I've enabled it on pretty much every account I have. So definitely use two-factor authentication.
When it comes to like these private servers and everything, and Marbluu pretty much said everything. But yeah, be careful out there, especially when you're signing up for the things that you want to go into. Don't give your real info, which would be my suggestion. Like he said, don't use an email that's connected to anything that's important. Like your credit information, or anything that could be linked back to you, just in case, like you say, you give fake name, fake address, because you're not entirely sure if what you're signing up for is safe. And then when you give it that info, and then if you get hacked, they could get your email, and they could find out all your real info. So there's a lot of dangerous things out there. I don't know. Would a VPN help as well with these types of things?
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. It disguises
Definitely.
your IP, so it changes your country. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, try to get a good one. I know there's some free ones out there, but I heard they don't work as well as the ones you pay for. So I would suggest trying to find one that works with your budget if you can. If you can't pay for one, just try not to get hacked, try not to get it caught, because it could lead to a lot of different things, like we were saying earlier. Especially people sending things to your house, or people showing up at your house, and that could lead to a lot of danger. Especially even if it's a small thing, it's not small, but things like pizzas being sent to your house, that in itself can lead to danger, because it shows that the person, whoever hacked you or whatever, has your address, knows where you live, yada yada. And so things like that. And I'm not trying to make light of this situation, but you guys said you've actually seen stuff like this before. Does anybody actually keep the pizzas that they get from these things? I'm genuinely curious.
Not as far as I know.
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't think they did. Normally they just like send them off.
Sorry, again wasn't trying to make light of anything. I was just curious, because I've heard of these things happening. I've never seen them, but I've always wondered that. Just like, do you keep the pizza? Because it's there. Especially if it's just one, I'd probably just be like, yo, here's the money, I'm hungry.
No, in most cases they'd be sending like a good 10 boxes of pizzas.
Oof.
So it'll be like a ridiculous amount to pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, online safety, we have to be more aware of it now, especially now since we're all in lockdown and self-isolation. We are relying on the internet way too much now. And unfortunately, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, especially online. There will be people who will be out there trying to take advantage or leak your information or hurt you in some way. And you just have to be smart on what you're doing, who you're talking to, and not let your guard down. Because the moment you let your guard down, that's when things start to go down as well.
True.
So yeah, just be careful. And
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
And just be aware that stuff like this is still going on. And despite our countries having laws about it, it's still not enough. There are people who will do whatever it takes to hurt you. And you don't want to be the next victim who ends up either being raped or dead or have their families be in danger. So yeah.
Yeah, especially your families, because these people will come after them just to get to you.
Yes. And that is the end of our podcast. And hopefully by the next episode we're gonna do a lighter topic. I apologize if this topic is somewhat heavy, but unfortunately it's stuff that's going on at the moment, and we just have to be aware that this is happening. We can keep preaching about it, but there will be people who will try to ignore the warnings. So we at least shared our stories on our experience facing these people. Some of us knew these people, some of us has met them face to face, and some of them were just aware that it was happening while they were goofing off online. So yeah, we're sharing our stories and we're telling you what we know and everything, just so we can help everyone else be safe online.
Exactly.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you want to hear more, we're on YouTube. Just search for my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see the podcast episodes there. Just search Casual Nerds. We're also in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Anchor FM. And yeah, this is another episode of Casual Nerds. My name is Eri, and with me is
MegaDjMatt.
and along with us is
Marbluu.
and we hope to see you guys next time. Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe, guys.
Bye. Take care. Be safe.